Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, how are you? You got the hoodie on.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, man? It's been good. We haven't talked in a while. There was a bye week. Football didn't play. Last time we talked was
the last podcast, whichever that was.
Was it the basketball one where we panicked? No,
it was
a football one. It was a football one. It was football. It was after the UAB loss. That's the last time we did it.
Yep. Well,
So
hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Because I'm not sure we're gonna do a podcast before Thanksgiving for the football game.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
It might be your Food Coma Friday podcast of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just sit there with your phone.
Yeah. Leftovers.
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna be celebrating
leftover turkey.
Win. Yeah, leftover turkey, ham, whatever else you got. I'm doing good, Bruni. How are you doing?
Are you a fan of leftovers? Like at Thanksgiving, like on the Friday after.
As a rule, I'm not a fan of leftovers because everyone puts them in the microwave for like 50 minutes way too long and they dry out. You know what I mean? So it depends. It depends.
This is
like
an interesting conversation. So you are critiquing. Okay, go ahead.
Because like if the turkey's dry like the day of, like you already know off rip it's not going to be good leftovers.
Yeah.
But you have the 50-50 chance then if it isn't dry and then you heat it up. But if you heat it up and it's dry, it's a no-go.
So you're saying put it in the oven, right?
I'm saying don't put it in the microwave for 5 minutes. I'm saying you put it in for like a minute and 20.
Because I think I've started as well reheating things in the oven, things that could go,
I'm gonna have
that I made in the oven.
I'm gonna have to. The fact that you're able to reheat things in the oven.
Is that bougie of me?
I was gonna say that might change your socioeconomic status by itself.
Is my electricity bill actually going up?
Rudy goes, I don't know. But I'm just imagining you getting home to your apartment, you put on like an apron, and you just go, some leftovers, and put it in a pan and throw it in the oven.
No.
Whereas I'm thinking like if like there's that image, right, of the oven, and then if it's me, it's like I get out of bed at like 2 p.m. Yeah. I open the fridge, you have a plate already made, you throw it in the microwave, you already hate yourself for doing what you're doing, waking up this late. It's a different thing.
No, I mean definitely some things get warmed up in the microwave. I'm just saying, like, for instance, I made chicken the other day, some thighs, some legs, all this stuff, like legitimately, see all the whole nine. And I was not gonna put that in the microwave to reheat it. So I put it back in I put the oven on, put it in the oven, took it out, ate it.
What's more bougie? Reheating something in an air fryer or in an oven?
Oven, for sure.
See,
nothing about the air fry is bougie to me.
I think the fact of owning one's just bougie. Because it's like a microwave, but a microwave for people that don't want their stuff to taste like it was in a microwave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a good point. Okay. But yeah, I am looking forward to Thanksgiving. It's probably the only time how often do we eat like actual turkey? Like, like you can eat like the turkey slices, on like a sandwich or something, but like turkey's like the main meal. That's not happening very often for me, at least. I don't know about you.
So is that annoying that people say they get tired of turkey when in reality they might only have turkey 3 times a year?
Very tired. Well, the thing is, that's why I'm not going to judge people that do get tired of it, because like by Saturday.
No, you just brought that up and now it's a stat in my head. 3 out of 365. That's a low percentage of
That's
time
what I'm saying.
You know what
That's
I mean?
what I'm saying. You can survive waking up
and eating some turkey.
10:30 a.m. You're like, what's for food? What's for brunch?
No, what's for breakfast?
What's for breakfast?
Roll out the turkey and stuffing.
Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes. And then 4 hours later you go back and it's the same thing.
What's your top 3? What are you looking forward? Like, you walk into your house. So give me your 3 main
mac
foods.
And cheese is up there for sure.
Give me your 3 foods and then give me your single dessert.
Mac and cheese is way up there, because if it's good, it's good, obviously. Yeah. I think ham, if it's juicy enough, I think it could be good, because it's not the usual ham that you eat, right? It's not sandwich ham.
Is that what you base everything off of now?
If it's done well, like this is an event,
Yeah.
So
it's not sandwich mac and cheese.
I'll throw ham up there. What would be third? You got stuffing, you got I mean, you had corn, but corn's kind of you're not doing anything special with the corn. It's just there.
Yeah, mashed potatoes, rolls
rolls. All right, I'll throw rolls up there. Sure.
as your third.
I feel like that's a basic like children's type thing. I like you would definitely go ham on like 20 rolls in the span of 2 days.
Yeah. My mom makes probably like 120 of them.
Yeah, so
it's kind of crazy. Anyways, my top 3.
Okay,
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna say turkey if it's cooked well. You ever had fried turkey?
I don't think so.
It's fire. Mac and cheese though is gonna take the crown. I forgot to say that. My mom makes smoked mac and cheese. Delicious. And then I guess you kind of threw it in my mouth. I got to go with the rolls for number 3. Yeah. What about your dessert?
I mean, there's like give me some options.
One dessert. No, you get one dessert.
No,
give me the options. Pumpkin pie, gingerbread, cheesecake, cookies. I don't know what your family makes.
I was gonna say like, is there like pudding?
I feel like there's got to be, right?
Like pudding is up there.
Is it banana
like I've had pudding before? Cookies.
But see, I feel like those are all things that you get.
Are you
like
a big pie person?
I hate pie, but I love pumpkin pie.
Okay. Interesting. It depends on the pie for me. It has to be good. It has to be good. I'm not just gonna roll out and eat a pie. I'm not reheating a pie in the oven. That's all I'm trying to say.
Amen.
It needs to be a legitimately good. Yeah, I can eat cheesecake.
All right. You just don't like desserts. You're just like that, huh?
Yeah, I don't really eat too many desserts.
That's crazy.
You don't get this physique with desserts, Colin.
All right. Anyways, mine's pumpkin pie, but let's continue. It's been 6 minutes at least.
I know. I'm gonna put it at the front like I did last time, where I was like, actual conversation starts.
I will say there was a comment on that video where it was like, "There's so many great tidbits from this," and it was like everything we said in the first 5 minutes of the podcast and nothing else.
That's what people actually cared about. Yeah, that's for the LSU podcast. We talked about it Thanksgiving for like 30 seconds, and that was like half the comments. It was like because we talked. I almost said the S word. Talked mess about cranberry sauce. And
what's your worst thing at Thanksgiving?
It might be cranberry sauce.
I hate stuffing. You throw stuffing in my plate.
Unpopular take.
And unpopular take. Yeah.
Yeah.
I throw it out. I'd just toss it aside.
Interesting. Do you like? All right. Here's the last thing. I promise.
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna have a disclaimer at the beginning, so I don't really care. Do you like all your foods touching?
No, I never. So, like,
for instance,
no, I know those people. Listen, you'll be in line with these types of people, and it's like it's almost like they're a serial killer because you're in line and they're in line, and their foods are all nice and portioned, and your foods are all nice and portioned on the plate. And the second you sit down, you're like, "Yeah, I'm about to eat this, and then eat this, and then eat this."
Exactly.
And then they just do this, mix it all together, and just
they'll just dig and dig, and then go
just like slop. You can't. Thanksgiving's a holiday about
what? What is it about, Colin? Tell me.
Eating good portions.
Tell me what it's about.
This is when you put up like the rainbow screen on a TV. Beep. Just cut it.
Said Thanksgiving is about, and then stopped and thought about what Thanksgiving is about, and then said it's about good portions.
Well, was I supposed to be? Supposed to go down the bad route, the good route?
Oh, that's great. Not even about being thankful or anything like that.
Because that's definitely not the first thing that popped into anybody's head when I said it. That's what I was talking about. But I was gonna make a joke out of it, and then you have never mind.
You stopped. Oh my gosh, that is funny.
No, what about
the pause?
No, you gotta portion it. You can't be sitting there mixing everything together.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm crying. Yo, if Colin started giving us the oral history of Thanksgiving,
that would be crazy. We have to cut that out though.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. History minor Colin Mitchell is in the house.
British history minor.
British history? That's what it was?
Yeah, it was British history.
So even more useless. All right. Good.
Yeah.
You really
Man,
got specific.
I don't know how many alumni or history minors and or majors, because you just kind of, made them not feel good about themselves on a week that they're supposed to feel thankful for their degree. Bruni.
Right.
Breaking news?
No breaking news. My actual job was texting me. So, all right. There's 10 minutes of Thanksgiving talk.
I'm out of breath.
In that time, North Texas has gone to halftime against Paul Quinn, currently leading 39-28. This is a basketball podcast. We didn't say that off rip, but it'll be in the headline. Basketball podcast. We're talking basketball. If you're looking for the football preview, that will be out on Friday. I think we're going to do it on. And then the game's obviously on Saturday against Rice. So, Colin, last time we did a basketball podcast, it was after the travesty that was Southern Nazarene. Now, I got some feedback and I got some information about Southern Nazarene. They are a top 10 Division II team, very good Division II program. They have former Division I players on that team. So I do want to say that off the rip, And now I will say, speaking with sources around the team, on the team, that are associated with the team.
Thank you.
All of the sources there. I think the team handled it really well. I think that they they didn't get shook. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me tell you, if they lost,
yeah, we might be feeling something different. But I think, look, I say that to say they knew they were getting Tylor and Rubin back.
Yeah.
That's what they knew. Now, again, what happened after the Southern Nazarene game? They still didn't have Tylor and Rubin back, and they went and got their teeth kicked in by St. Mary's. Okay, on the road, 63-33. They didn't practice the entire week. They literally just showed up and played, and it looked like that. It looked
like pickup.
Yeah, it looked like it didn't even look like pickup because they were discombobulated might be the wrong word, but they were not good. So, anyways, get killed by St. Mary's. I tweeted out, that game means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Zero to me. I said, I need to see this team when Tylor and Rubin come back.
Yep.
So, Tylor and Rubin come back for the Fresno State game at home, November 19th on Saturday, 6 days after the St. Mary's game. And I said, this is the game. This is the one we need to pay attention to. We will see how good they are. Fresno State plays an incredibly slow pace, similar to North Texas, but they rank 120th in KenPom. Last year, they were in the 70s in KenPom. Established program, good program. North Texas got them at home, and I loved it. I loved that game. I thought it was a great game. They beat Fresno State 61-52, and while it was close for periods, North Texas, I thought, was the better team from start to finish. So this podcast will be about that. It'll be about, a little bit, I guess, about just the overall, what we think about this season coming off 4 games. But where were you at? I know you watched the game afterwards. Where were you at with North Texas against Fresno State?
I liked how the ball actually moved around. I think that was the main thing. I mean, Tylor and Rubin obviously are able to do things that not everyone on the team can do yet just because they're not familiar. I mean, I expect Kai to eventually catch up and especially Tyree. But I think the first thing that came out was the fact how aggressive both Rubin and Tylor were out the gate. I mean, I think Tyler's first shot was a 3 and it was just net. And it was like, okay, we're back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it felt different. And only that they're the rock that the team needed because we talked about this after Southern Nazarene. They haven't had none of them had played together. I mean, up to that point, I mean, you had Abu basically, and they still kind of looked like that when Tylor and Rubin weren't in, and that's what I think was the thing that I saw the most was that they were kind of the stabilizing force for this team against Fresno State.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if I said on the podcast or because I talked to people about college basketball. It's like I knew once they got Tylor back, you have a back and obviously Rubin back. You have a backcourt of Tylor, Rubin, and Kai. That is a backcourt good enough to win you Conference USA or be a top 2, top 3 team in Conference USA, right? Like that backcourt alone is good enough. Now you take those 2 away, Tylor and Rubin, this team isn't deep enough and isn't experienced enough in minutes together on the court to overcome that. And I think that's pretty pretty obvious from what we saw from this team throughout the year. So, yeah, Tyler Perry coming back. I mean, 4-10 from 3. I just thought he was awesome. Three assists, 1 turnover. He sets the tone for this team. He's exactly what they need from a scoring perspective. We know they're not going to be in any high-scoring games, so every single shot he makes matters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought Rubin was real comfortable as well. Like, he didn't light it up. He went 2 or 3 from 2 and 0 of 3 from 3, 0 of 2 from the free throw line. But you know, I felt calm when he was in the game.
Here's the problem that I saw when they were playing at Southern Nazarene, and I guess St. Mary's too. I just kind of bleeped the St. Mary's game from my head. But when you didn't have Tylor or Rubin, it kind of looked like last year's offense when they're trying to figure out how to get the ball inside. And without Thomas there, you're giving it to Abu, who isn't used to having the ball in his hands that much. And then you're giving it to a guy like Jaden Martinez or Aaron Scott, who, again, both also aren't used on this team, especially to do those things. So then whenever Tylor and Rubin come back, they're getting to the paint in different ways. You're no longer having to inbound the ball to Abu. You can get dribble penetration. And that's the thing I saw most with Rubin. It wasn't necessarily the scoring, even though it was a crazy move, reverse between the legs and then, layup. But you're able to force pressure on the defense to where you can get the kick out now. You don't have to give it to Abu, then swing it around and kind of have nothing. And I think that was the thing that affected the offense the most.
Yeah. It was obviously refreshing. Defensively, they were right back where they left off, holding Fresno 52 points. It was a lower possession game, so make of that what you will. But I was really happy with the, as we continue to get into the nitty-gritty, the front court play outside of Abu. And I know that kind of sounds bad, but I think Abu is going to have a good season. Like, I truly believe he's going to be fine. But when they had Aaron Scott and Jaden Martinez on the court together, I felt really, really good about the flexibility of that lineup. Like, those two, with how they can rebound, like, you don't get the post scoring and, the automatic paint touches, but Scott and Martinez, they can shoot. They are tough. They can rebound. I love those two as a front court pairing.
Yeah, and it's almost like a complete opposite of what they had in the past. Jaden Martinez can shoot threes. Aaron Scott can shoot threes. And then not only that, they can move, to an extent with the ball in their hands and still do some of that post scoring. I think I saw Jaden back down a couple guys in that Fresno State game, and it was like, okay, he can score in multiple ways. And on the broadcast, I heard he's about to score 1,000 points for his career. So he can score, and I'm really excited for him. Obviously, Abu up to this point is, and I've texted you, it's like I get frustrated because he's able to do really well, and we've seen it. It's just the hands sometimes aren't there, or the finishing sometimes isn't there, and it's frustrating whenever you have a guy that that can do it and he just hasn't. Yeah. So where do you? The question I wanted to ask you, I wasn't asking you this later, but you already kind of brought it up, is where do you think they go from? Obviously, Abu's not going to lead the starting lineup or anything like that, but do you think they continue closing with like Aaron Scott and Jaden Martinez in this?
Close with those two instead of Abu.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if this coaching staff would do that. I feel like they are kind of married to Abu. I mean, because he is obviously, probably their best rebounder, can give them a stabilizing force in the middle with the post-ups. I don't know. That's a good question because I personally, we look at things from an NBA lens, I think, in a lot of times, right? Like in an NBA lineup, in a playoff matchup, when you're closing games, it wouldn't be a question. You would have Martinez and Scott. You'd have Martinez, Scott, maybe like Edie, Kai, or no, not Edie, probably Rubin, Kai, and Tylor, right? Or maybe if you want to sub Edie in for one of those, you could. But that's probably where you would go with a closing lineup. It depends on the matchup, but I just couldn't see North Texas taking him out of a closing lineup.
And I'm not trying to bag down.
No, okay, no. Because first of all, let me pull this up while I say this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Let's see. What is Abu shooting on the year?
30%.
30%. Shooting 30%, right? It's 4 of 9 tonight against Paul Quinn. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. All right, like bottom line, like I come on here, you've come on here. I think on the last podcast when I went back and listened to it, I was like, Abu's gonna be fine. He looked good, all this stuff, yada yada. At the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah,
you're shooting 30% from the field. It's not good enough. And even if you're shooting 40% from the field, it's not good enough. So
as the biggest guy in the court, you got to be 50 plus.
Yeah, at least 50 plus.
Yeah.
At least 50 plus. And that's what we talked about in the Southern Nazarene podcast. Yeah, he's gonna shoot the ball a lot. But how many of those are easy opportunities, or how many of those are high efficient shots? Not many. Not many. So and that's a big thing with this offense is if he's not drawing two like Zach used to do, then it basically makes him less valuable on the court. So that's going to be a big development. A big thing to watch this year is, can Abu get his field goal percentage up?
Yeah.
Can he do it? Because if he's below 50%, the post touches aren't justified. Team defenses will not respect him. And I think it hurts this team in a lot of ways. So, and kind of going off of that, we talked about it before the podcast. Colin, I know this is a very small sample size, and 2 of these games were without Tylor and Rubin, and they are shooting better today against Paul Quinn. Let's see where they're at. They're up 12 right now in the second half. So they're 4-12. So they are 22. I'm sorry. They're 12 of 22 from 2 tonight. Much better. But entering the game, they ranked dead last in 2-point field goal percentage.
Yeah.
Dead last in the country. 27% from 2. 27% from 2. If you go back and look at the Fresno State win, they shot where'd it go? I just had it. They shot 7 of 14 from 2, so a good percentage, but only 14 shots from 2, 9 of 32 from 3, and 20 of 28 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Now, that's not necessarily an awful thing, because what do we always, to go back to our NBA instincts, threes and free throws.
Yeah.
Like that's great. But it speaks to obviously Abu's inefficiency and kind of just the overall inefficiency at the rim and in the paint with this team at this point in the year. Now, obviously they're going to get better than that percentage, like duh. But still, I think it speaks to where this team is with getting paint touches and creating on the inside.
Well, yeah, and in those first 2 games that you just talked about too, is if Abu's not drawing 2, which he wasn't those first 2 games, that's what happens to the offense, because you're not going to have a guy to kick it back out to. And if he's unable to score like they had been, then the games are going to look that ugly. So that's why it was important that Rubin and Tylor came back, and it affected the team. It did, because if it didn't, we'd be on here having a completely different conversation, about how they're going to be able to attack the basket at all. Moving on to 3-point shooting, because I think I texted you. I can't remember if it was while watching this, because I watched the games back to back. I watched Fresno State and then I watched this game.
Yeah.
3-point shooting has been a concern for me up to this point, just because I need to see Kai hit one back to back.
Yeah.
What's he shooting right now? He's shooting
3 of 20 from 3.
Yeah, he's shooting
entering
almost 7.
This game.
Yeah, he's shooting almost. Yeah, entering this game, he's averaging 6.7 attempted. He's making 1.
Yeah, 3 of 20 on the season.
Yeah. So I need to see, because there was a point, I think it was last game or it was this game, they got 5. It was this game, Paul Quinn.
Paul Quinn.
They got 5 offensive rebounds. They had 3 wide open attempts from 3. None of them went in.
Yep.
And you need to make shots like that if you're going to try to score more than, they could be up, instead of 12, they could be up 18.
Yeah. Not for nothing, Rubin's never been what did Rubin shoot last year? I don't want to say he hasn't been, but he hasn't been a knockdown shooter before. Let me see what he shot last year to make sure, because I actually think he shot a pretty good percentage last year off the top of my head. But Rubin's was 0 for 3 coming in. He is currently 2 of 4 from 3. So there you go. Yeah, I think he'll be
last year he shot 34%.
Okay.
And the year before he shot 40%.
Yeah. So we'll see what they get from him. What they get from Rubin is going to be big as far as 3-point shooting goes. We know what we're going to get from Tylor, but Kai, his shot looks nice, and so I'm inclined to believe he's going to be fine shooting the ball. But still, at the end of the day, like you said, we got to see 2 go in a row.
Yeah, because otherwise it's the same thing with Abu, right? Like if you can't have a guard on the perimeter and you don't really have a lot of shooters, you can't.
And I like Kai's game too.
I do too.
Like I really like it.
Yeah,
he's just got to make shots.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Matthew Stone. we came into this game, we came into the season, sorry, saying, okay, this guy might get like 6-7 minutes a game.
Yeah,
he's playing.
He is playing.
What's your thought on that?
Well, we only have 1 game sample size. Well, 2, I guess, with Paul Quinn now. But of 1 game sample size of him with the entire team, and he played 20 minutes, so that is substantial. Look, he played more than Kai against Fresno State. If Kai cannot improve to the point where he's playing more than Matthew Stone, then we have an issue on our hands. And that's not a shot to Matthew Stone. Matthew Stone is, I talked to people on the team. It's like Matthew Stone's one of the toughest players on the team. Like you trust him. You trust him because he fights, right? Yeah. Cool. But Rubin played 20 minutes. Kai played 18 minutes. Matt Stone played 20 minutes. Like that minutes just distribution between those 3 should look obviously like, 30, 25, and 10 to Matthew Stone. I think in a perfect world. And, Matthew Stone has to be able to make open threes and take open threes because we saw far too often. Look, he had his shot when Tylor Perry and Rubin weren't playing. When those 2 weren't playing, that was your audition to go put up points, do something. And I didn't see anything that made me say, you know what, he deserves more minutes. Like, yeah, he got an offensive rebound when they needed it against Southern Nazarene. Cool. But, again, that was your audition. And so that might be harsh to say. I think he's going to help this team. I think he's fine. I think he's a fine 7th, 8th man off on the team. But, yeah, no, I don't see him continuing to play 20 minutes a game.
Okay.
Is that harsh? Does that mean?
No, I just brought it up because, watching the Fresno State and then watching the first half of this game, he almost adds a different toughness to the team on the defensive end. Obviously, in the offensive end, you need him to hit the threes. But I think just the fact that he's like kind of like a hybrid wing in a weird way, and he's strong. So I was just curious, like, on what you thought about that, like how much this team will use that over, especially the way they play, will use that over scoring. So
1, 2, 3. Look, I think they have their 8 now. I think they have their 8-man rotation now, right? You got your starters. And then, Rubin's still coming off the bench right now, right? I didn't catch the beginning of this Paul Quinn game, but I think they're still starting Edey.
He started tonight.
Yeah, so you got Rubin and Jaden Martinez off the bench, right, as your guard rotation and your forward rotation, and then Matt Stone can kind of plug in on the wing wherever you need him for 10 minutes game. I'm cool with that. That's fine. But, yeah, I think we have our 8 now, which, North Texas likes to play guys a lot of minutes whenever they get comfortable. I'm cool with that. So,
it's true.
Do you have anything else on this game or this team specifically?
No. What about you?
I was just going to talk about how good Conference USA is real quick because, damn, this conference is good. This conference is good. Last year, I think they ended the year 13th in the country in KenPom's conference rankings. Currently, they are 11th. UAB is 4-1, just beat Georgia handily. Georgia's not good, but still, it's an SEC team. FAU beat Florida. Florida's actually good and an SEC team. Western Kentucky lost yesterday to Akron, which was disappointing, but they bounced back nice with a win today. La Tech put up a fight against Texas Tech. UTEP has had some good results. Charlotte's had some good results. The bottom 3, FIU, Rice, and UTSA, aren't great. UTSA is awful, but actually beat Texas State recently. So I'm just saying all this because out of 11 teams, I think 8 of them are legitimately good teams. Like 8 of them, UTEP is the lowest ranked in KenPom, and they're 170. And I honestly think they're better than 170 personally. But, like, still, you're potentially talking about 8 teams in the top 150. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. North Texas is in 76th in KenPom, FAU 75 in KenPom, UAB 42, Western's dropped down to 113. But, like, it's gonna be a battle every single game, every single night. And if this is, as we know, this is a huge time for Conference USA. You got to win games.
This is the time. There's no other time after this year for how good this.
Exactly. We'll be talking about a very different. We'll be talking about a different conference as a whole. But this is it for them. This is it for Conference USA. You gotta win games. Gotta win games in the non-conference schedule if you're gonna get 2 bids.
After seeing the games so far, where do you think North Texas will end up falling? Obviously, we don't know how good they can be
in the conference.
Yeah. obviously we don't know how good they can be because, the circumstances so far, but in how you thought they would come in, I think you and I both had them about 2 or 3.
Yeah, I had them third, I think.
Yeah. Where do you think that still holds, I should say? Or do you
Yeah,
think
I still think they're a top 3 team, top 3 or 4 team. UAB is, I don't know how consistent they are, but they are obviously elite. FAU, I think, is very elite. They're going to be up there, tough to beat. Western is,
Western.
Consistent. Yeah, Western's Western. La Tech's going to be La Tech. Man, it's just going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough. So
like Grant said when we interviewed him, there's no well, I guess he didn't say this, we kind of said this. You don't have the teams at the bottom holding the conference down. It's the home and away, home and away, home and away. It's a grind fest every week.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the same. It's not years past where you and I could go into a week and we're like, oh yeah, we don't really need to watch this whole game of them playing whoever. Even
though I think Marshall, Old Dominion, and Southern Miss are decent this year, you want it's with only 11 teams, it's a lot more saturated. Or is that the right word?
It's desaturated.
Desaturated.
What do you? Okay. Well, it depends on what you're saturating.
Bottom line,
the higher rankings are more saturated.
Exactly.
There you go.
The higher rankings of UAB and FAU and North Texas mean more. Obviously, right. So they carry more weight. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's what I think is an interesting aspect of this whole season is that as long as those top 8 teams that I said are all actually good, then Conference USA will have a chance. They'll have a chance. I think UAB will have to be the automatic bid, though, or the at-large bid, though. I think UAB will have to, just based off of where they rank metrics-wise, and then, they have – I think they'll have to probably beat like a West Virginia, UAB will, or a South Carolina, but they have the ability to win those games because they are so – I think like flammable is a good word for them.
Yeah, they can.
If you put them in the right situation –
yeah,
if you put them in the right situation, they might explode and just destroy it.
I think if a team like Western or North Texas has a similar season like North Texas did last year, where they just run the conference, I think you could have an at-large bid by a team like that.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
But I think that's going to be really hard with a conference that's this tough this time around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need probably UAB to go in and beat South Carolina, and then you would have a win over South Carolina and Georgia. And obviously a couple wins in there, and then you need UAB to go like 14-4, or there's 20 games, so 15-5 or something in conference, have a good conference season, and then strength of schedule is much higher this year for a conference team. So anyways, I think UAB probably is the best shot at that, but who knows, maybe North Texas can put it together and go on a run and get things clicking. Like
where's your panic meter at now? It's not 7. I know that. It was at 7 before.
No, I feel great. I feel great about
good.
it. I feel really good. I'm at like a 2. I told you I was gonna be at a 2 once Rubin and Tylor came back.
I think you did say. I think you said that on the podcast. Yeah, actually. I would agree with that. It's definitely they're kind of running away with the game now, which is good.
Yeah, it's very good. This Paul Quinn team only lost to SMU, I think, by 14.
Yeah.
So. Pretty good. All right, Colin. That it? We good?
Yeah.
We're good on basketball. Like I said, football podcast coming Friday after Thanksgiving. We hope y'all enjoyed. We hope y'all enjoyed our Thanksgiving talk for the first 10 minutes. Trying to pay the bills, get to 30-minute podcasts. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And subscribe to the channel, to the YouTube if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter, right down there below our names. The Facebook above me, the Spotify above Colin, all of the outlets you could support us on. We appreciate it. So, for Colin Mitchell, I'm Matthew Brune. Thank y'all for joining us.